I don't know if anybody will come in because it's pretty early on Saturday, but welcome to Barefoot on the Homestead. My name is Jessica. I am gardening in Florida in Zone 9B, and I do a little look of the garden and the things that we're growing, some seedlings and how they're growing, and also to check out the chickens that we have. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for a couple of people to come in. I tried sharing it, but I don't know. It didn't really work out. So while we're waiting, this is an overlook of our garden, and we have our greenhouse here. This I purchased off of the TikTok shop. It is, I believe, from Vevor. A lot of my stuff is from Vevor. It's a mess in there, but I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through it and show you what's going on. This is the time where things are going to be messy because I'm planning and growing and just trying to figure these things out. We bought this property last year, and I don't have anything really going. I didn't have anything going on for the past year, but now we're at a point where we can start trying to get things little by little. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and kind of show you. I am on also TikTok, and I use TikTok for a homestead diary, which just is me almost every single day posting a video and showing you what's changed or how things are growing and producing. So you can hear my chicken is like my rooster is molesting my hens. So, yeah, I have 4 raised beds right now. We will be adding some more raised beds soon. I don't have anything in that raised bed over here because I have seeds that are germinating, and once those have some true leaves, like 2 or 3 true leaves, then I will be transplanting them into the ground. So I don't have anything in that bed. I did add some stuff in that bed, and I'm going to walk you guys through all of that in a few. But I use my front yard for our garden. The back is already taken up by the chickens and the dogs, so I'm not gardening back there. At the old house we lived in, I was gardening in the backyard. But my goal is to have like a food forest kind of. So I'm going to be filling all of this up with raised beds and just different systems of growing. I do have some grow bags. I have some more that are coming today, and some more seed starter trays that I need to get some other seeds planted. And yeah, I also have a worm compost bin that we'll take a look at, and I also have a regular compost bin. Both are from Vevor. And yeah, so I have my porch here, okay, and so when we come off, we look here, and here is the garden. First thing that we have, let me actually take you in here to the greenhouse so I can show you the seeds. Yesterday, I'll show you those in a minute. Yesterday, I took my Monstera plant, and I love Monsteras. I took my Monstera plant and I had to separate it because it was getting too big for the container and they were kind of dying. As you can see, there's some brown spots and yellow spots. And I just repotted it into this container that I had laying around. This container I bought at Lowe's. It was like, I think $5, I want to say. And I think it's a 5-gallon. So I just put the Monstera in there, and I'm keeping it in the greenhouse so that way there's not direct sun, because that's what caused the yellowing on my Monstera is the sun. And so I put it in the greenhouse so that way it has heat. Monsteras love sand, and actually took one of my, I think it was about 5 or 6 months ago, I took one of the Monsteras and I actually planted it in my in the front of my house, because Florida is basically sand. and it's doing really, really well in there. So the Monstera in this pot, hopefully things go good. That's not really a soil. That's not really a sandy soil. It's just regular soil. It's this flower and vegetable garden soil. And it has fertilizer. So I'm hoping that it's not going to resist and that it's going to do well. And I just did this yesterday, but I'll keep things updated over on my TikTok. And my TikTok is My Homestead Diary. And again, on TikTok, I just show you guys like almost daily of how things are growing, and it's really my diary just to keep an idea of what things grew really well in my area, what things did not. And it's still a learning and process. I've been gardening for 5 years now, but yeah, it's still learning as you go. So this right here is mint. It is a sweet mint. And I used some of this yesterday for my husband's tea. I used this and some lemon balm, and it was really amazing. I just steeped it for like 10 minutes, and the longer you steep it, the stronger the taste is. And I added some turmeric, I added some ginger, and it was really, really good. I just got this 2 days ago. I put it in this grow bag container here. I love these things, and it's doing really well. This is a little Swiss, and this plant I've had for a very long time. As you can see, it's not doing so well. I did put it out here. It was in my house, and I did put it out here, and I repotted it. So hopefully this will get better with time. These are my elephant ears that I repotted as well. They were doing really good outside, but there was just so much in the container. And I purchased one big pot from, I want to say either Lowe's or Home Depot, and they gave a massive amount of them. So I just decided, why not separate them, get more plants out of the one. And I just decided to put in the greenhouse to kind of see how it's going to grow. I do have one outside where my raised beds are. So I'm just basically trying things out to see how it's going to go. So that's what I have there. I have hanging up, this is a herb. It's like a little, I don't know, a little herb garden here. I purchased these from Lowe's. They were $5. I purchased 2 of them. I have a strawberry plant in that one, and then this one has sage. It has rosemary and thyme, but I'm thinking about separating them and then potting them into my raised bed, my herb raised bed. But yeah, so I just have these hanging. These help with keeping my greenhouse together so it doesn't fall apart. A lot of people buy these greenhouses, and my husband kind of helped fix it up for me. They buy these greenhouses and they have problems. We actually had one of these in our old house, and it ended up blowing away, and it just didn't do very well. So what I decided to do to make it sturdy and keep it in the ground is I took and purchased these little poles, and then we attached them to the bar, and then we zip tied them. So I have one there, one there, one over there in the corner. It's like almost every single one of these has this. You push it into the ground and it keeps it nice and sturdy, so that way it's not coming out. And yeah, and then I have a tarp down here, and I use these little stakes. I don't know if you guys can see them, but I use these little stakes to keep that down in the ground. This is my soil. I just keep my bags here, and then I fill this up. Makes it much, much easier to fill it up, and then just bring my trays over here, and then just, put the soil in the trays. And then, like I said, over here, I have a strawberry plant that's hanging. I cut off the baby one, and I just put it inside of a pot to help try and regrow another strawberry plant. It's a runner. So I just took that runner and then I replanted it. So hopefully it will attach. Over here is some dill. This is beefsteak tomatoes, which pretty soon, once they get their 3 or 4 leaves, I'm going to separate them. But this is the beefsteak tomatoes, and these do really, really well for me. I have my Roma tomatoes back here, and I do have some that have sprouted. Roma also does really, really well for me. And I don't have anything coming up in this yet. This is, it says habanero, but it's not. It's jalapeno. I planted this on the, I want to say the 26th of December. This is Casabella hot pepper. This I also planted on the 26th. These beefsteak tomatoes I planted on the 23rd. And that's what we've got so far. It is January 5th right now. Over here we have kale. These I planted all at the same time, which I believe was on the 26th. So we have kale, we have red acre cabbage. We do have some sprouting. We have some tomatillo, purple tomatillo in these two cells here. We have Swiss chard. This is the hook variety. This was planted again on the 26th. And then we have spinach. We have this little seed coming up. We have that one that's already come up. These are radishes, and they didn't do great. I'm thinking because of the change of the weather. I did these around November 2nd. They take 30 days to harvest. We're in January now, so it's been a couple of months. And so we had a cold front come, and I think the cold front really hurt them. So they're not really growing any bulbs or any of the food, but I'm still holding out hope. I'm hoping that they will replenish themselves. I don't know. So that's what's going on there. Up here we have mainly our lettuce and our spinach. We have beets. I want to include more beets into our diet. So over here we have this spinach that came out. We have lettuce. This is the black seeded, I think the writings came off, black seeded Simpson lettuce. Same thing over there. Same thing over there. This is the beefsteak tomatoes. These were done on the 23rd. So we got some growth. This right here is California Sweet Wonder. I don't see anything yet. These are our beets. That is spinach, I think. Hold on, let me see. Oh, I gotta redo these. No, that's lettuce. I'm sorry. That's lettuce. That's lettuce. That is Bloomsdale spinach. This is California sweet pepper. This is beefsteak tomato. This is spinach, beets, spinach back there. And my rosemary, there's nothing growing yet. This is rosemary. This we do have some germination. This is a muslin lettuce. And that's what we have growing up there. So it's doing really, really well. And the soil I used was that soil that I showed you in the beginning. I also have basil over there. I buy this basmati rice, and then I just reuse them to grow things in. I will be using this one to add to my banana plant because I stuck it in the ground, and we're going to be getting a freeze pretty soon. So I'm going to put that over it with some stakes to keep it in the ground. This is our Vivor worm bin. I just added some worms in here. And I can make a separate video eventually about worm bins. I don't know if you can, yeah. So you see we've got a worm in there. And they're really like down deep. I do have some eggs, which I do not recommend throwing your eggs in here like this. I recommend blending them up or crushing them up because it makes it easier for the worms to be able to eat them. I have a little worm right over there. This one is really working. So that's my worm bin. Let me put the top on. I have this little cup here. This cup is to grab any of the, which some stuff came out. This is to grab any of the compost tea. Sounds gross, but is perfect for the plants. And then, like I said, this is just the soil that I keep inside the bin. It makes it much easier to put my seeds together. And let me just kind of step back and show you. Again, it is a mess because I'm still trying to get things organized. We have our spring garden coming up, so I'm trying to plan and get all those things going. This shelf right here I use just to keep like the extra stuff, which I have to organize it today. That's one of the things on my list. So I have to organize it. I use these containers to keep my fertilizer. We have a bunny, so we do bunny fertilizer. We have chickens for fertilizer. We have quail for fertilizer. We have all kinds of animals for fertilizer, but this is what I'm gonna use to make a bunny compost tea, bunny fertilizer compost tea. Over there is just fish emulsion. I just keep it in there, and then I'll just put it into my sprayer when I want to fertilize. So that's what's going on in here. And then out here I have my raised beds and my grow bags. This right here is carrots. It's the Carnival Blend carrots, which I don't have any seeds sprouted yet. That is beans, which I don't have anything yet. This is the muslin lettuce, which is doing really, really well. That is either kale or red lettuce. I want to say it's a red lettuce. I was saying it's kale, but I think it's a red lettuce. I can't remember. Radishes that I just stuck in there. I also decided to plant some more seeds in there and see what happens, and we do have growth. This is cabbage, which is not doing very, very well. This is pepper. I did have this in my raised bed, but then I decided to put it in a grow bed. I have a lot of tiny, tiny ants, and it was very painful. They actually stung me on my hands because I didn't notice, like, no, they were on the roots. So I don't know. Ants are good and beneficial depending on the type. So I have to do some research to see if those ants were a good type of ant or something that's going to end up, because it was kind of ruining my plant. And I just now have some more new growth. Elephant ear plant. Like I said, I separated it. This was the big one, so I just put it in there. This is a tomato that I grew from seed. It's Aroma tomato. This was done on 10/30, and it's doing really, really well. My Monstera that I talked about, I put 2 of them in here. This I purchased yesterday. This I did not grow from seed. This was purchased at Lowe's, and it is a Mimi red pepper. And we have some peppers on there. Then we have some that are growing. Once it turns red, then we can harvest it. This bed right here, I have dill. We have marigold. Marigold is great for attracting certain pollinators. Again, some red lettuce, cabbage, or not cabbage, I think Swiss chard, which is doing amazing. Like, we have some green growth there that wasn't there the other day, and I'm really, really surprised with that. The soil that I use in here is a cow manure. I pick them up from Home Depot. They're like $2.40 something a bag. I love that stuff. I've been using it for years. I've been gardening for 5 years, and it's been really, really great in my climate. That's where the pepper was. Then when I took it out, I got stung by a lot of ants. This year, something I'm doing different. I am trying onions. I purchased these starts from Lowe's. They were $5 for a huge bunch of them. So I added those in there and they're doing really good. I also added some of the other ones in here. Hi, I miss watching you. Are you worried about the frost you may get next week? Not really. Okay, so a lot of my plants are cold hardy. So I'm not really worried about it because we've gotten, I think last night was like 30 something degrees. I want to say like 32 or something around there. And we've gotten that low many times. I don't know. Everybody's saying that it's supposed to get into like the teens, could be possibly the teens. I don't think so. I think it's just going to stay around the same that it's been, about 30, maybe possibly 20s. So I'm not going to do anything really. I'm just going to let God and nature take its course. The only thing I will be doing is I'm going to be covering up my banana plant because those do not do good in the cold. Okay. I got this banana plant from my neighbor. She gave it to me in a big pot. It was growing a pup. I think it was growing 2 pups. And so I took those out and I just repotted them. And the frost that came a couple weeks ago destroyed them. So that I actually had to dye back a lot. I pulled a lot of it off. So this I'll be using my basmati rice bag and putting it over it and then using some ground stakes to keep it in there so that way it doesn't freeze because they do not do good, okay, when it gets really low temperatures. That's the only thing that I'm going to be doing, but everything else is pretty much cold hardy and it's doing really well. The tomatoes, the onions, my onions are doing much better in here than they are in the raised bed. This is what they looked like. They were very thin. And so I just used this Dollar Tree container that I purchased for like $3. And I don't know if you can see, but the stems are getting nice and thick. So it's doing really well in here. And this was cow manure that I used. So pretty much everything that's in a bed or in a bucket like this is cow manure. And the grow bags are just regular soil. Green soil, like a yellow bag. But yeah, I think everything is doing really great. I keep an eye on it every day. So, all right, this is radishes. These radishes were in my tiny greenhouse. I brought them out here, and surprisingly, they're doing actually much better than they were. So, yeah, I do have to put them in something bigger, and I'm going to do that later on. This is butterfly pea. I don't know the actual name for it. I just know that we call it butterfly pea. It's the peas that when you put it in certain temperature or certain water, it changes color. I don't have anything growing yet, which I'm assuming is going to be a while. I did get some free seeds from another farmer, but the seeds were from last year, so I'm hoping that they will grow. That is my Roma tomatoes. Those are all planted at the same time, okay? All at the same time. Some of them, as you can see, did really well. Some of them did not do really well, but they're doing much better out here. We did get rain a couple of days ago, and the rainwater is like perfect for the plants, and so they're doing much better. This was a trial and error. I took the radishes and I put them in here, but it didn't really work out. They're still not growing. Some of them are dying back. I'm going to take it out and possibly put something else in there. Maybe carrot seeds, because I do have a small type of carrot that I might add in there. This is just a pole that I got for, I want to say $5 at Lowe's. And then these are the Dollar Tree bins. For these, I just drilled a hole in the middle and I put this stake in the ground, deep down into the ground to make it sturdy. Then I just added these like this. Then I went ahead and also put holes on the bottom for drainage. And then I just filled it up with soil and then put that stuff in there. But I don't know yet. I might do lettuce in there. Just kind of pull all of this out, amend the soil, and then probably put lettuce in there. I don't know yet, or maybe some flowers. I'm not sure yet. And then this is the second bed. This we have lettuce, which I use for our bunny. That's a plant that my daughter just got. She loves that plant. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's very beautiful. Cabbage is not doing very good there. Cabbage is doing okay there. That cabbage is doing much better. Like, that is the best cabbage that I have. Let me come over here. This cabbage is doing really, really great. And I'm going to actually pull off this bottom. But that cabbage is doing amazing. This is, I think, kale. Marigolds. Again, marigold is great for bringing in beneficial pollinators. This is also good for attracting butterflies and pollinators. I have some mulch here, which I'm going to line across there. I have to put down some of this tarp first. I have to move this stuff. I'll rake the mulch. I'll put down the tarp, and then I'll just put that mulch right back on there. And then I also want to mulch this area right here. Over here is that runner, strawberry runner that I told you about, that I cut off and just stuck it in here. This is carrots. This I purchased from the store the other day, and we actually already got some of the carrots. We don't have many left, but that's a little tiny carrot right there. I used this. I made a sausage, potato and pea soup yesterday with some carrots and onions, and it was amazing. Then I have this bed. There's nothing in here right now. I don't know exactly what I'm going to put in here yet. Oh, I also added some mammoth sunflowers along the edge here. It's going to take some time for them to grow, but I'm really excited about those. Or no, it wasn't the mammoth sunflower. It was a different type of sunflower, and I just put it along the edge here because that's really, really great and beneficial in the garden. So I did put them around the edge here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I probably will use this for the seedlings that I have that are growing in the greenhouse. Not sure yet. I have some raised grow bags that are coming from Amazon today. I also have the little pots that I use for my seedlings coming today. I had to purchase some more, and they are expensive, but I needed them because I don't have enough raised beds for all of those seeds, and I might end up selling or giving some of them away to friends. I'm not sure yet, but I don't know what to put in here. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I think I put, hold on. I think I did plant something in here. I think I had planted some beans. I want to say, yeah, I think I did plant some beans along the edge here. I'm doing companion planting, which is where you take and plant, plants together to kind of maximize as much space as possible. I do have a decent amount of land. We're almost on half an acre. So I do have a decent amount of land. The problem is it's all in the front here. It's not in the back. And this road is very like dirt. And so I'm like limited on what I can actually put in here. My plan, it's too expensive right now to do, but my plan is to get a small fence to go around the edge here. And then in the back, I do want to do a privacy fence because we have our chickens and our chickens get out. I'm also going to be getting, well, I'll talk about that once we go over there with the chickens, but marigold, that one, I can't remember what the name is. This is my banana plant that I added here because I will be taking the banana plants that I have, which are in these containers, and bringing them into the greenhouse once this freeze comes. That's another thing that I'm doing with the bananas. Except for that one, I'm going to put something over it. So, but this will go into the greenhouse. This is a little makeshift pond that we have. I will be putting it into the the ground. I was starting to put it in the ground here, but there's a really big root down in there, and so I couldn't put it. But this is just like a cheap thing. I bought this for $14 at Lowe's. This solar panel water fountain thing, I think, was $20 on Amazon. And it's just a tiny little pond. When this thing is going, it sounds so beautiful. My TikTok, my homestead diary, I have a video where you can actually watch and listen to it. It sounds so beautiful. We do want to get an in-ground pond eventually. It's just way too expensive. The black piece that goes into the ground is like 100 and something, so we can't do anything there because we are getting our roof replaced. There was damage from the hurricane on our roof, so we have to get that done. In Florida, cover your plants, any fruit trees, turn on the sprinkler. Yeah, so the only thing that I'm going to be doing is my banana plants, because it's not going to get, like, it's going to be cold. Our nights a lot of times get to like 30 something, like low 30s. So I'm not going to do much here because a lot of this is cold hardy. I'm not sure about the marigolds. Last night was about 30 something degrees in my area. So, but a lot of my plants are cold hardy. I don't have any fruit trees. The only fruit trees I have are my banana trees. That one's in the ground and I'm going to cover it. These other ones, these other ones are going to go to the greenhouse. So those are the only things I'm worried about, because the banana plants do not do good in the cold, because every time that it gets really cold, they end up dying and the leaves start turning brown, so they don't do very well. I do have them also where it gets a lot of sun in this area. Over here, it's like 12 something, and over there is like a part shade because I have the greenhouse. So part shaded plants I'm put there. And then the other ones here. Hey, baby. This is our neighbor's cat. This is not our cat. Hi, sweetie. Hi. He's so sweet. His name is Garfield, I think. I don't know. I call him Garfield. What's your name? Okay. So in this one, I took my tomatoes, and I just did this today. These are the ones I grew from seeds, and I put them here, and then I watered them. That's my biggest tomato that I grew. And then I added these two over here. I added most of them here because I will be getting a cattle panel and putting it here in the middle. The problem is that everywhere I go, they have a Prop 65. And if you don't know what Prop 65 is, basically in California in 1985 or somewhere in the 80s, the government was required to put a warning on anything that could cause cancer or reproductive harm, or it's made in a factory where, you know, they have products that have been known to cause cancer and reproductive harm. And I don't want my food to be sitting and touching the cattle panel. So if anybody knows where I can get a cattle panel that doesn't have that, please let me know. And something that's not expensive. Anyway, this is lemon balm here. This is what I used with the mint in my husband's tea the other day. This is doing really, really well. That's marigold over there. And then this is Italian oregano, which I have to take my shears and cut some of these things and then try and dry them out. That's not for you, buddy. It's not for you. So that's what's going on in this bed. So yeah, that's the oh my goodness, that's the raised bed garden area here that we have. I'm gonna take you to the chickens. Dude, oh my goodness. It's trying to get me to fall. So cute. He sees my chickens. Okay. Coming to the backyard. A couple days ago, I had to clean out this area. We have myrtle trees that were here when we bought the property. Over there is where I was using as a compost area. I just would throw food over here, scraps. I would throw the pine shavings that are used by the chickens and the quail that we have in the house, or the bunny, And so we were doing that for a while. Then I had purchased the compost bin and the worm bin. And then I also give our chickens a lot of our food. So yes, a couple days ago I had to go in here and I had to pull a lot of dead plants and dead twigs and things. And so these bags right here, that's what that is. I have to put it in the front. That's what is in these bags. A lot of the twigs and a lot of the weeds that I had to pull out. The chickens, I will from time to time throw stuff over there because the chickens, they love to dig. Or not dig, they love to scavenge. So my son, when he cleaned our quail cage in the house, because we have two, he threw it over here. And the chickens, they scavenged over here. So this is one of our chicken coops, purchased off of Amazon. It was $150, I believe, and that was with delivery. Hey buddy, gotta go. So yeah, this is because we have two sets of chickens. Not sets of chickens, we have two groups of chickens. These chickens are much younger. They just turned about 7 months, I want to say 6 to 7 months. I think I have some chickens that are in there, or a cat or a person, I don't know. But those chickens are about 7 months. Yeah, it's one of my chickens. What are you doing, ma'ams, ladies? I need to somebody suggested to get a electric top for my fence. It's not gonna electrocute them like that. It will give them a little shock, and that will stop them from going over the fence and going into other people's yards. So I'm gonna have to do that, but that's like $200, so we're gonna wait for now. We don't have anyone here, and we don't have anybody over here, so yeah. But anyway, so this coop right here is what I keep our younger chickens in. And then we have this rabbit hutch that I actually got for free. This lady was getting rid of it on OfferUp, and I'm like, I've been looking for so long, and I'm like, you know what? Yes, it's free. I'm going to get it. And I have to clean their little water thing here, even though they have a big pool with water. This is the quail. Quail are great for eggs. They're also a great meat source. I love our quail. I have one male in here, and I have 5 females. And I have to add some of this in there. Quail are very, very dirty. Very dirty. And because I have the chickens in here, they come up here and they like to poop on the hutch, which I love this stuff because I will take it and put it in my compost bin, and it's a hot manure. So this right here is really, really great to put back, beneficial to put into my raised beds to fertilize. You can see that one stuck his head out. This is where I keep their food. I have quail in the house. This is where they go. These are like my senior citizen quail, if you will. Okay, this is where the females lay the eggs, even though they haven't laid the eggs, because they give me plenty of eggs. But now I'm just not getting any. But if you can't have chickens in your area because there's codes, or you're not allowed, quail are perfect. You can keep them in the house. I have them outside of the house because it's just much easier. I have 2 males inside of my house that I'll be butchering soon, and I like to butcher them for food to eat. I also give them to our dog. I humanely butcher them, don't worry, but I give them to my dog as a treat, and they're just really, really great. They do crow, the males do crow, but it's not as loud as roosters. But they're really, really great to have if you can't have chickens. They are a meat source, they are a fertilizer, they are also great for eggs. The eggs are tiny. They're very, very tiny. They are mostly yolk. So if you don't, excuse me, ma'am, Why are you pecking at me? So if you don't like, they're very tiny, okay? So even the yolk is very, very tiny. So if you're not a person who doesn't like a lot of yolks, quail eggs, yes, it's mostly yolk, but it's a small yolk. So they're really, really good to have. You guys closed your door. Do I have any eggs? You guys give me any eggs? Probably not. Quail are great. And the way to tell if a quail is a male or a female is if you look at their chest. Come here, baby. My goodness. If you look at their chest here, you can see that she's got spots. This is a female. Females have spots on their chest. The males do not. So that's a female. Yeah. So I'm going to close this back up. They have their water inside of here. You can see. So yeah. Wonder how many eggs I have in there. We have 16 chickens in total, by the way. We also have 5 more. I incubated the females in here. I incubated their eggs, so I do have 4 that I'm going to end up selling. There's like 8 days left, I believe, and then they'll be hatching. I have 4 they're like a white chicken. It's a old something, I think, but they're going to be for meat. So in a couple of weeks here, we're going to be culling them for meat. And this is another, I got this from the same lady. She's like, hey, if you want anything else from my yard, you can take it. And I'm like, oh, thank you. So I took this, which the chickens, they lay their eggs in, and we do have some eggs right there. So we do have a couple of eggs. They're like foraging right now. Okay. Then we're gonna come over here. Some of the other ladies that we have. This is their water. We just fill this up for them. Saves money. Not having to buy the water containers. That's a Mac and Flyer. I don't have anything, guys. Don't peck at me. I don't have anything. This is some marigolds that we planted in here for them to snack on. And as you can see, she's drinking. And I also keep these galvanized containers over here. This is the regular chicken food. Now that they're no longer, some of them are no longer babies in that coop, they're starting to lay eggs, and I have 4 hens, 1 rooster. I'm getting 4 eggs from them, so I will be switching them over to the regular food instead of the baby food. And then this is the original coop that my husband and son built. Rude. Don't be rude. It's still going, still growing strong. And it's a mess, guys. It's a mess. This is where they lay their eggs. And then we just added some of these little branch things in here. And then I have my camera in there, security camera. And then we have a wasp nest in here. But the wasp nest is fine. It doesn't do anything or hurt anything. One thing I do want to get into is beekeeping, because I want us to start making and sourcing our own, harvesting and sourcing our own honey. But that's not going to be for later, till later, probably the end of this year. In March, we will be getting meat rabbits. And the reason why we're going to get meat rabbits is, one, the fertilizer. Their poop is a great cold fertilizer. You can make a compost tea. You can just add it to your plants. It is a slow release. So when you water your plants, slowly it releases over time. But we will be getting some meat rabbits. I'm probably going to move these girls into our old coop, and then this is where our rabbits are going to be. If I have one female and one male, I can get almost 600 pounds of meat. So that'll be another meat source that we'll have. Rabbits are great because you can use their skin for leather. You can use their hides for dog treats if you dehydrate them. You can use their fur for yarn. You can obviously use their meat to eat. There's a lot of multiple uses for them. What happened? So we will be getting meat rabbits in about probably 3 months. We do have one rabbit, Millie, but she is our pet. She is not for food. What? Watch. She comes up to me and then I come down and then she runs away. I've raised you since you were a day old. Okay, I didn't birth you, but almost. And you're afraid of me. Chickens are funny. This container is our quail food. So yeah, I wonder how many eggs are in here. These chickens can be little buttholes, okay? Like major buttholes. Ma'am, you are not supposed to be in there. You can't see them, but can you hear them? I bet my rooster's in there too. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the chicken. That's the greenhouse. It's the garden that we've got going on. It's pretty much it. You guys have any questions? I know there's not a lot of people, but questions, comments. Oh, and I also have this table. I was going to put in the greenhouse, but there was just not enough room. So I put it here. I will be adding some plants on that. This is our rabbit stuff. This is her pellets. This is her hay. This is like $25, but this will last for 6 months. That was from our tree, which I'm going to probably stick some other kind of tree in there. I don't know. I want papaya, but we will see. Compost bin. And that's pretty much it. All right. Well, thank you for spending this time with me. I want to say thank you to everybody who supports me and my husband. You guys are amazing. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, any suggestions, also, if you guys need any help, I've done a lot of research. I've been doing gardening for like 5 years now. And yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on things you want to see, I'm not going to say that I'm going to make videos quite often, because when I do, I don't, because things get so hectic. I'm a homeschool mama. I am a homesteader. Life is just so crazy and hectic to always bring out the camera. But I mean, I'll do my best. If you have any suggestions of videos you want to see, let me know. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little tour. I appreciate all of you. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Oh, follow me on TikTok if you have TikTok, My Homestead Diary, because I try to post at least once a day. It's like just a video diary for me. So yeah, but all right, thanks guys. I'll see you in my next video.